don't know.
For a moment. Check, check, test. Okay. Hey, how about we all come together and do a pre-service centering prayer? All right. Let's do a pre-service centering prayer. All right. We're going to do a pre-service centering prayer. All right. All right. All right. Hey, Forrest and Ryan, we're going to have a moment of centering prayer. We're going to just have a moment of centering prayer. So, yeah, you can stay where you are if you like, or you can come over here. Yes. Oh, okay. All right. So, right here and right now, we just take a moment and we just center into that divine nature that is within each and every one of us and feel the gratitude for this beautiful day, the gratitude for this auspicious exhibit that we have here, and in the way that we are participating in a community healing, community atonement, and bringing about justice, social justice, and dismantling racism. We call forth all of those who are here today and those who, we bless all who are here today, and we bless all of those who would be invited, and we send out the energy of love and invitation for them to be curious and to come in and explore and participate in this exhibit. And we just see all the Spirit working in and through each of us as we are moved today in the music, in the message, and in our community together. And for this, we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. Well, oh, wonderful, wonderful. It can't be on the sidewalk. Yeah, because people walk by all the time, and it's public property, not ours. Yeah, we want to. So
Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing.
All right. Let's hear it for the band. Thank you. Well, welcome to those of you who are online with us today and those who are in the room with us today for our Sunday celebration service for Unity of Richmond. I'm Reverend Valorie Gunsch. It's my joy to welcome you here for this service, and you can see it's very different in here as we are in the middle of our Art Atonement Flag exhibit. Today's guest with us is our wonderful, lovely artist, Dawn Flores, and you're going to hear from her in a little bit. And it's Arts in the Garden, and so we've been having a lot of visitors going by there and coming in to see the exhibit. And anyway, Kara Boston is our service leader today. I'm going to turn it over to her to lead us in our daily word and opening prayer.
All right, so to begin, we will do our unity affirmation. Together, Unity of Richmond is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And with God as our source, we accomplish mighty works together. Awesome. All right, and now for the daily word. Each new day is a treasure filled with life's gems, found in even the most ordinary moments. Joy fills my heart when I pause to notice the wonder that surrounds me. I let my gaze linger as I watch the setting sun or close my eyes as I savor the sweetness of fresh fruit. Beneath the night sky, I breathe deeply and partake of the fresh, clean air. The beauty of the world pales in comparison to the beauty within me. I am so deeply and wondrously blessed to know my oneness with God and with all that is. There is no greater joy. I wake and praise each new day and feel newly alive. I go out into the world to share the joy of being a child of God in the abundant universe. I spread light and love to everyone I meet, trusting they will know the joy of God as I do. Now for the scripture. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands I sing for joy. Psalm 92:4. And together we will say this affirmation 3 times. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. I feel joyous as I celebrate life.
Good morning. Let's all stand and sing this together. These are the hands. This is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. I lift up my hands, I lift up my voice to celebrate the goodness of God. So as we wait, our hearts wide open, fill us as we pray. So we may walk in the fullness, the wonder of your grace. These are the hands, this is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. I lift up my hands, I lift up my voice to celebrate the goodness of God. We hear your voice in the silence. sweet and clear. And it is then that we discover your presence ever near. Ours are the hand, ours is the voice to celebrate the goodness of God. To celebrate the goodness of God. To celebrate the goodness of God.
Beautiful. And now you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathe in all of that goodness of God. Breathe in all the creativity that surrounds us, both in this space, online, and in the park across the street with Arts in the Park. So much creativity surrounds us. Let that infuse us as we become creative beings and use our individual creativity to transform lives and transform the world. And so it is. And together we will do the Metro Richmond prayer. We pray for health care in metropolitan Richmond, for persons living with terminal illnesses and for their families, friends, and communities, for persons working to find cures for diseases. And now we have lots of opportunities so that you can do more than just join us on Sundays. All right, so first is the volunteer fair. We still have that at the signups available, so please check out the different teams available to you and put your name on the list of 2 things that you're interested in. Each of our teams are fun and easy to learn, and may I please put a shout out for the youth and family. We definitely could use more hands to make the work a little bit lighter, so please consider that as you're thinking about signing up. All right, and next we want to invite everyone to sign up for our new offering by Barbara Hess. And if you've never been to any of her teachings, let me tell you, she's great at it. Every class or workshop by her is packed full of exciting information and experiences you can take into your day-to-day. So again, beyond these Sundays. This new offering is about the 12 powers in our lives, so using the 12 powers. It's a 5-week series on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. in person or online. You can sign up with the sheet in the gathering space or online. Next, we have this week is the final days of the Atonement Flag installation, as you see here in the middle of our service. It will be open Monday through Wednesday from 11 to 4 p.m. You won't want to miss the inspirational and reflective closing ceremony and burning bowl, which will be held on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to close out this amazing experience that we've had here at Unity of Richmond. And we'll learn more in the service later. All right, we have a couple more. So Town Hall is coming up. Mark your calendars for June 23rd. Actually, yeah, 23rd, I think. Sorry, the other notes say the 27th, so I think it's the 23rd. Mark your calendars. We'll be ratifying last year's annual meeting minutes, and we look forward to seeing you there. As you see, there's a light potluck luncheon, so we know you'll come because there's food. Thank you. All right, Illuminate Richmond Local Arts and Wellness Festival. So we will be participating in this on Sunday, June 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is an incredible outreach opportunity for our church. So we really would appreciate you stopping by the festival in general, but also our Unity table and just spreading the word beyond these walls, right? Church without walls. And there's a holistic mini sessions. There's shopping, sampling, delighting your senses, lots of things. You can find more information at illuminatefestivals.com. And there's one more that's not on here. Unity Men of Unity, sorry, this is like last minute. Men of Unity will be meeting at McLean's on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. So I'll say it again all together coherently, hopefully. McLean's Restaurant, Thursday at 12:30, Men of Unity. Please join them. Good? Okay. And now we will have an amazing song by Katrina.
Good morning, beloveds. You've got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum and bring gloom down to the minimum and have faith. Our pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene to illustrate my last remark. Jonah in the well, Noah and the ark. What did they do? Just when everything looked so dark, man, they said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Come on, Ian. Come on, Forrest. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the well, Noah and the ark. What did they do? Just when everything looked so dark, man, they said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Thank you, loves. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Katrina, and thank you, Ian, Forrest, and Ryan. You know, we need an official name for your, do you have a name for your, yeah, I mean, for the band, not just house band or the Band of Unity, you know. All right, well, we'll have a contest. We'll have a contest, name the band. Yeah, Positive Vibes is great. I like that. That's wonderful. Yes. Yes. So, I did want to say just a little bit more about Wednesday night because we have Ingrid Ali and Hamilton Stage, the Twin Soul Poets, who will be performing their Posse Award-winning for the category of spoken word poetry called The Lovings, about the Lovings from Virginia, you know, the Lovings versus Virginia case that changed the Supreme Court changed the law that was against racial marriage, so interracial marriage. So that is going to be wonderful, a part of our closing ceremony as well, and Dawn will lead us in a beautiful burning bowl and closing as well. So today we're here to talk about we're going to have a dialogue, Dawn and I, We're going to talk about the role of art and the role of community in healing grief. And I'm going to call her up in a minute, but I just wanted to share a few points with you first. Because grief affects us all in many ways. And the impacts of grief we have are physical, emotional, social, behavioral, and spiritual. And we have to do our grief work both individually and collectively as a community. So, and besides, doing it as a community is really, really profound. And when we don't do it, it can have its very negative consequences. So our community gatherings are essential for our healing. It's the way we can share a sacred witness to the suffering of others and have compassion for each other and just hold spiritual space, hold space for sorrow, hold space for anger and grief, and hold space for the healing to happen and to take place. It's very difficult, and it was very difficult during the pandemic for people not to be able to gather and hold funerals for their loved ones. Because when we grieve together as a community, we help each other and we honor the person who has died. And we know we're not alone in community. We're not alone with that range of emotions that we can experience with grief and trauma. Think about the power of groups. There's recovery groups, very powerful. There's group therapy. There's mastermind prayer groups when we set intentions and hold visions together. There's a transformative quality that takes place that just any one person doing alone could not achieve. Another one is restorative circles and unitive justice. So we have Sylvia Clute here today as and this weekend as part of the exhibit, who has just released her new book, Unitive Justice, Bending the Arc of Justice Toward Love. And her books are available, and she's going to be out there and has a book signing going during this event today. And, coming together for Unitive Justice Circle or Restorative Justice Circles bring us to see each other's humanity, to not otherize. It helps us to listen, to understand one another, and helps us come to mutually beneficial actions to take together to create that arc of bending the arc of justice toward love. Today also I want to acknowledge Santa Sorensen, who works for the Peace. She's a facilitator for the Peace Education Center. Where are you? Ah, there she is. Oh. Oh. She facilitates for healing in community. Thank you. Yeah. I was giving you a little bit of old news there. That okay. Yeah. So anyway, she does healing community facilitation, and last week she facilitated dialogue down just over at the Unitarian Universalist for dialogues about Palestine and Israel. Very difficult work to do these days. So yes, thank you for your work. With what's going on currently and what has gone on in the past, that sparked this creativity that Dawn is going to share with us is, these have been wake-up calls. Again, voices crying out, reminding us that eye for an eye justice is not. It makes us all blind. No, it's not the way to go. And we want to create a world that is built with loving kindness and gets to the bottom of what is causing the harm. So Dawn handed this book about a month ago. It's called We Heal Together, Rituals and Practices for Building Community and Connection by Michelle Cassandra Johnson. And I started reading this book, and there's some really, it's really great information. I hope that we could have a study of this in the future. And I wanted to share a few points from that. Then I'm going to bring Dawn up for our dialogue. There is a foreword in the book. By the way, she is an activist, an author, an anti-racism consultant, a trainer, an intuitive healer, and a yoga teacher. She's very holistic and has done a lot of group facilitation, community facilitation. And one of her colleagues, Vivette Jeffries Logan, who is an Indigenous woman, shared in the foreword of this, and we have a quote for the screen. It's, "Healing is both and. There is healing that requires individual work that we must do alone, with the understanding that though we are alone in our work, we are held in support, light, and love by our community. Then there is work that requires us to show up in community, communal healing. We are each other's strength, sacred witnesses, accountability partners, and healing balm." And then Michelle Cassandra Johnson herself said this, "The COVID-19 era has unearthed and revealed much. It has revealed to the world all forms of oppression and has challenged us to prioritize one another, to practice collective care, and consider our connection with all beings. We have been taken to the underworld and asked if we will do what we need to do in service of the collective good to decrease the suffering on the planet and heal. Will we dig up the bones, our history of trauma and oppression, and the blood memories in order to heal? Or will we bury it deep within ourselves and the collective? Will we prioritize community or our own individual needs at the expense of others?" This exhibit is about prioritizing community and healing community together. And so I don't want to take up much more time because I want Dawn to come up with me now, and we're gonna have a little dialogue. Oh yes, Kara is going to share Dawn's bio. Yes.
Alrighty, Dawn Flores is a multidisciplinary artist who cycles between writing, performance, and the visual arts, working in painting, photography, and fiber arts. She uses salvaged material to construct assemblage pieces and design fabric patterns that are sewn into quilts. Using the rituals of remembrance and grief, she makes art inspired by the ephemeral beauty of the natural world and in response to environmental and social injustices. She collaborates with communities to curate performances and exhibitions that inform and inspire. In her own words, "Growing up in the North Woods of Wisconsin, I came to see art as a vital component of a healthy neighborhood, learning to build and create from the members of my farming community. As an adult, my eyes were open to the struggle of immigrants and refugees while living in New York and New Orleans. Living in Richmond, Virginia, the former capital of the Confederacy, has given me over 30 years of opportunity to actively study and rethink the histories that I have been taught. I believe art is humanity's most potent form of medicine." And now we dialogue.
Thank you for being here, Dawn, today.
Thank you for letting. Am I on? You can hear me? Volume,
There we
volume, volume.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Yes. So let's start with, tell us about how this idea for this exhibit, this flag, how did it all start? What sparked this project for you in 2020?
So that's a simple question, and I have a really complex answer because my work is, and all artists' work is like a spiral. You come back and visit the same themes over and over again, and you go up, and then things start coming together. So I documented 60 acres of urban forest before, during, and after. They clear-cut it for residential development. So that was my environmental work that I was doing. And I did it because I was in grief. My mother had died. My first husband and I were getting a divorce, and this forest had been my muse for 20 years, and they were cutting it down. And because my mother had just died, and I just learned a boatload about transforming grief, I knew that I had to gather community around me, and I knew I had to make art, and I knew I had to do something to remember the forest. So I just took one step at a time, and what ended up happening, I worked on this for 8 years. I collaborated with over 1,000 people. I, in community, made over 200 works of art out of that, and 2 of the pieces out of that project are here. One is Mason-Dixon Forest, which is all the ingredients of that forest that's now gone, and then the other one is Plantation Hands. This property had been Powhatan Indian farmland, and then the largest plantation on the south side of Richmond, and then 3 Blyleys raised, 3 generations of Blyleys were raised there. And then it was being developed. And that's also why there was a Civil War era embalming table, which is what's up front here, in the attic, because, so that same process of grief, what I was doing was taking photographs of the forest, turning them into fabric patterns, making them into quilts. I was making Mason-Dixon Forest and Plantation Hands when the protests, when George Floyd was murdered and the protests erupted. And so the first thing I did was go to take pictures. And I was standing on the lawn of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, and I saw a squiggly pattern of the green on the granite, and I went, ah, that's a fabric pattern. And I started taking pictures. I go, oh, there's another fabric pattern. Oh, I got to make something out of this. I got to make a dress. Oh no, I got to make a flag. Oh, it's got to be a 2-sided flag. So it was like igniting, you know, like a line of gasoline. It's just like, whoosh. And so I would go to the monuments to take photographs of the graffiti, and I started telling people what I was doing and showing them what I was doing. And that was how I connected to people. Instead of just going there and being an outsider, that's how I connected to people, and that's how people opened up to me. And that's how I had conversations with people I never thought I would feel really close to, or that would feel safe with me. And one of the photographs was that I took was a sticker that said, "Funeral of a Nation, in memory of who we were, a tribute to who we will be. We are because of who was. Where past meets present, a future is born. The death of one nation is the birth of another." And for me, my work is about transformation and resurrection. And I took that photograph and made a fabric pattern out of it. And 2 years went by before I had the good sense to Google that, because it was so intentional. I wanted to find out more about it. I Googled it, and I found a 30-minute musical essay by Hardcover, and couldn't believe how it spoke to me. And I felt like it was a healing balm, and I immediately had a vision of the film and the flag in conversation, because my purpose in making this is to uplift Black voices, and I wanted to partner with the Black voice. So that's how everything came together.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So there are a lot of just, it seemed to me like spirit-led connections that you made throughout this project. And I've been witness to some of those, and how you connected with the hardcover, the two gentlemen. So there's you have placards down here on the floor that describe the monumental meditations and the role that they played during that time. And also, you've incorporated that into this experience. So can you tell us more about that?
Well, when I was designing this space, for me, going to the monuments, you could go there and you could say, oh, this is ugly and out of control and those people shouldn't be doing that and I'm scared. Or you could go there and say, wow, this is amazing that this is finally being unearthed, that is finally being unleashed. This is a miracle. This is correcting injustice. Look at those people signing each other up to vote. Look at those people playing chess. Look at those people playing basketball. Look at those people being joyful. Look at those people feeding each other. And Bell Hooks talks about a beloved community, and that's what I witnessed, and that was my experience, and my heart was open, and those conversations were so meaningful to me. And so when I started making the flag, I would bring my neighbors over. That felt like beloved community to me. I would bring my neighbors over, and they're so supportive and so helpful, and that feels like my beloved community supporting me. And I started showing the flag to my students at the VMFA, which is a very different community, and they were like, yes, do this. This is so great. And when I met Keith, the filmmaker, it was like 1 second, and I felt like he was my beloved. And we had the most creative and energetic conversation. And I made mending parties to sew the front of the flag and the back of the flag together by hand. And I got 22 people to help me over the course of 5 days. We had 11 mending parties. And Barbara Smith was there. Trying to think if anybody else in the room, but we talked and about hard stuff, and some people needed atonement, and we prayed and we sang, and I didn't orchestrate that, it just naturally happened, and that was really beautiful. And then when I met Harold, he came. This event was planned. I was meeting him for the first time. Harold and Keith both live in California, and they're very, very busy. So it was extraordinary that I got to meet him. Harold came here, and he was wearing a hat that said Unity. And he got out of the car, hi, Dawn! And he walked up to the door and he said, tell me about this place. And he wanted to know all about everything, and he was so inquisitive and happy and generous. And again, we had the same connection and synergy, and we saw eye to eye on everything, and taught each other in our conversation. So there's this teaching that has been going on from the beginning. Meeting at the monument, there was a teaching going on. This setup, there's a teaching and a healing going on. I have learned so much in the last 3 days. I don't want to miss a minute of being here and being with the people coming in. I can't remember what your question was. Did I answer it?
You did. And more, and more. So there's other questions I don't even need to
Did
ask.
I check off two more questions?
Yes, you did. You did.
Monumental meditators.
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
answer
there was
the
that
question.
piece. Yes, thank you.
So in designing
That's right.
in designing the space, I thought about everything that was there. And one of the things that tied our church to that space was, I don't remember all the people that were the initial organizers, but I think Deborah Woodward had the initial seed. Mm-hmm. And then she reached out to the church, and then several other people helped her. And I think they, over the course of 4 weeks, they lined up along Monument Avenue, spaced out, and meditated. And Santa Sorensen was there also.
I was.
You were there?
Mm-hmm.
I was there. Who was there? Oh, look at that!
A lot of people here were
almost everybody in this room was there.
there. Yeah.
So I thought, this show can be difficult and emotional. I have to check on one of my friends. I think I broke him yesterday. He ran out of here. But this show can be emotional, so I wanted to create a space where you could let those feelings come up and work through them and ask for help if you need to. But I wanted the meditators to be here to hold the space and to ground the space.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And they're really making it, they're the ones I'm having all these great conversations with. And they're the ones who are having great conversations with other people coming to visit. So it's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So I wanted to ask you about then, and this may seem like a silly question, but how does art bring us together in a transformative process? Not just like art on a big scale like this, but on a personal level, how can we participate ourselves in creating art that is healing, balm? I think a lot of people think of themselves not as an artist because they...
That's a really, really good question.
Yeah.
Because I teach art, and I have people show up, and usually the people that I teach art to, they've denied their art for their whole life, or they thought they wanted to be an artist, but they thought they could only be an artist if they could commodify it, because we live in a capitalist society that measures everything by if it has a monetary value. But the value of art is self-healing, and it's in building community, and it's in healing communally. So for me, I feel like also I want to talk about jealousy a little bit. When we deny our creativity, we project the responsibility onto professionals. And then anything we deny within ourselves, we resent. So we are envious and we are jealous. So if you're jealous, it could mean that you feel like you're inferior. So check yourself. Am I inferior? No, not inferior to anybody or anything. Am I envious? Oh, well, that might be your soul calling you to do something like that. And you might go, but I can't do that because I don't know how to do that. Do you think that I knew how to do an 8-year collaborative environmental project with over 1,000 people? I didn't. All I did was pay attention to what I felt. I got an idea. I held the vision, and I didn't beat up myself. I didn't say I have to figure out how to do that. I just went, oh, that's really curious. I can't imagine how in the world I'm going to do that. And then the path appears before you, and the assistant appears before you. If it's an internal block, then you have to do some work. I had to do tons of internal work in order to be able to fly this flag. I had to get really clear about self-care, putting myself first, taking care of myself, believing in myself, believing that what I had to say was of value, believing that I could have a difficult conversation if I were attacked or criticized. So I had to do a lot of internal work. So if there's something that you want to do, it's precious, it's individual, it's hang on to it. And find the people who can help you become the person that can perform that thing, no matter what it is, no matter how big you think it is. It's a slow process, and there's healing every single step of the way, and there is community every step of the way, and that's how you bond with people.
Beautiful.
Okay, I answered the question.
You did. So the next question, which might lead us into our meditation time, but how does ritual serve in community healing and in your personal healing? Then you might have spoken a little bit about it, but how does that heal us? Where does that and how have you incorporated into this project?
That's so funny because my husband says that when I'm sewing, I look like a priestess preparing an altar. And when I'm working in my studio, I do one of two things while I'm working always. One thing is I walk in my studio and it's go time, it's work time. And I either play Sanskrit chant music and I'm praying as I work. And I'm trying to be in the most calm, elevated, peaceful state as I work. So that's a ritual for me. And then the other thing that I do is I balance that with listening to audiobooks on social justice or the environment. I can't believe how many books that I've listened to and how difficult those books were in listening to. And I learned to take it in small bites, 20 minutes, and then Sanskrit chanting, 20 minutes. And all those realizations, I feel like I put them into my work. So I feel like I'm transforming them with my hands as I'm working. The other thing I like to do is incorporate gifting into the work as a way to bond with the people that I'm working for or with. And giving thanks and having events. We had the volunteer appreciation or the mending party appreciation dinner the other night for the people who helped me sew this quilt together before the opening ceremony. And I wanted to do it because I was so grateful to them. And then I thought I was being very clever from the marketing strategy that I got 25 people here for the opening. But really, what was happening was I had 25 people who loved me dearly who were holding me up. And so that I could be completely open-hearted. And so it's just this, at the heart of everything is reciprocity. Reciprocity, reciprocity. So reciprocity is my ritual that I'm always looking for to put into my work. And for this, we have the embalming table. This is a ritual for you to participate in the exhibition.
And you will continue that ritual on Juneteenth at the close, or after the close of this, with what we're doing here, right?
Correct.
And then on the evening of our closing ceremony, we're doing a ritual as well. Yeah.
And on the closing ceremony, we're going to do a burning bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
I like fire. We got to have some fire in here.
Thank you. So I have one more question, and then we'll do our meditation. But I wanted to share a quote today, which comes from Valorie, the author of See No Stranger. And we have that on the screen, yes. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think that we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. So you can see that on the screen. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we've reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. So how have you used wonder in your process of
Oh,
creating?
that's my magic weapon, my secret weapon. So for the forest project, that's what I did all day long. I would just go into the forest, and which is actually kind of scary to go into a woods by yourself that goes on for 150 acres. Just witnessing it, looking at it, watching it grow, watching it die. There was wonder there. When I put the fabric patterns together, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm just taking these pictures, cropping them, changing the color. And then when I upload them to the server, they go together, and it's like, ta-da! So, especially for this piece, the transform side looks so African, and I didn't do that. It just did it itself. So that's like a sense of wonder for me. I didn't know, I never sewed a 12 by 6 foot flag together before. This is an unusual construction. I didn't even know if it was going to work. So I had a great sense of wonder when it was finished, and I looked at it, and it did work. So I'm constantly in a state of amazement and wonder when I'm making my work.
Thank you. What is the one thing, if there is one thing, I know that's hard to narrow down, but what would you like us to know before we close up this part and go into meditation? What is the most important thing you want this group, the world, the community to know about this project?
I want you to know how much of you is in this work, because for 23 years, this congregation has been supporting me in strengthening my full creative voice. So I am the woman that I am today, and I love myself very much, let me tell you. I love who I am, and I am who I am because of your support and encouragement, because of the support and encouragement I receive at my job at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. My boss is my mentor. My students are my teachers. My neighbors are my friends and teachers. My family and friends. I am my coach, my artist friends. I have so much support and encouragement, and that's how I am able to do this work. So thank you.
And you are a supporter and an encourager and a coach for others as well. So we thank you for that. That comes out.
My great pleasure.
Yeah, that comes out so naturally, it seems to me, from you. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to be the premiere, the first of this exhibit, and we are celebrating that it is moving on to the next location with the Wellness Cooperative. Is that what
The
it's called?
Well Collective.
The Well Collective. Pardon me. Yeah. So this is just the beginning here, and we're going to do a meditation now with a ritual, and make sure that does everybody have a pencil and a piece of this dissolving paper? All right, Barbara's handing that out. We're going to relax, prepare. It's an active meditation in that we will be going within, and you will be writing what you are inspired to write, that will be then later brought to the James River to dissolve in the river Juneteenth. So first, let's just, as the lights are dimming, relax yourself and just let our ushers come bring you. Don't worry about it, they're coming. Breathe in and breathe out and relax with every breath, allowing any thoughts to just bubble up and float away, and emptying your mind, and let that mind sink into your heart. as you empty and relax and open to receive. And now Dawn will guide us with the questions.
So take some nice deep breaths in, letting your belly go soft and fill up. And pulling your belly button to the back of your spine. Exhale. And again. And feel your feet on the floor. Put your hands, your warm palms on your thighs. Feel yourself in your body. And connect yourself to the earth. And think about how this continent once was one with Africa, millions and millions of years ago. There's a violent separation, heaving the Blue Ridge Mountains way up into the air. And think about all the First Nation people that walked this earth, this very spot where we are. The Monacan, Patawomack, Nanseman, Chickahominy, Pamunkey, Mattaponi, Upper Mattaponi, and countless others whose names we don't know. And think about this land being tobacco fields and the people who labored on it and their blood and sweat and tears. Think about the ancestors who are rejoicing. In Unitive Justice, Bending the Arc of Justice Toward Love, author Sylvia Clute writes, "We need not seek unity. It is our inherent nature. Our task is to seek and find all the barriers we have made against it, the false beliefs and illusions we project onto our world to maintain illusion of separation. When we recognize that the world is not dualistic, we wake up in the worldview of unity. Unity requires a redesign at every level. Our identity, our understanding of individuality, our understanding of other, the core beliefs that make up our ideological infrastructure, as well as our social institutional structures, including justice. Traditional institutional structures that have their foundation in the belief that separation is reality are obsolete. Please reflect on the following. What are the barriers that exist in your mind that prevent you from envisioning and taking steps to create a more perfect union? What would you personally like to atone for regarding race in America? What would meaningful reparations look like for you? What grief burdens you that you would like to release? What could our city create that would be a healing example to the rest of the nation? When you are ready, please write your reflections on the piece of paper that was given to you. You can take as much time as you want to and put it in the basket after the service. All of the reflections will be documented, and on Juneteenth, they will be taken to the slave landing and released into the mighty James.
The questions are also posted on this that you can review as well after the service. So as we come to the close of this ritual and heartfelt meditation together, we have a community prayer statement that we can say together that comes from Michelle Cassandra Johnson in her book for group ritual. It's on the screen, so let us say this together. May the sweetness of this community bring us joy. May we know the experience of joy as our birthright. May joy be present in our lives. May we heal and know joy. May we bring joy to others. May we remove all that is in the way of us as a collective, finding joy and peace. And so it is. So it is. Amen. So as we come to the close of our service, you can prepare for our offering. And also I want to remind you that the documentary will be playing and starting and rolling in here. We're open all day for the exhibit and today through 4 p.m. And the documentary will be back to back, and you can take in all of that. And I want to thank the meditators who have volunteered to hold space. So let us say our prosperity blessing today. Divine love expressing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
I recommend getting your heart trampled on to anyone. Yeah. I recommend walking around naked in your living room. Yeah. Swallow it down.
What a jagged little pill.
It feels so good.
Swimming in your stomach.
Wait until the dust settles. You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. I recommend biting off more than you can chew to anyone. I certainly do. I recommend sticking your foot in your mouth at any time. Feel free, throw it down.
The caution blocks you from the wind
Hold it up
to the rain.
You wait and see when the smoke clears.
You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. The way a 3-year-old would do.
Melt it down.
You're gonna have to eventually anyway.
The fire trucks are coming up around the bend.
You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. You grieve, you learn, you choke, you learn, you laugh, you learn, you choose, you learn, you pray, you learn, you ask, you learn, you live, you learn.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, ushers, for coming back. Together, let's give thanks for these gifts that we have received. We give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. So it is. All right, we do have a couple youth today.
You are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. You are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
All right, do you have anything to share today? No? Okay. They are survived, that's what they're saying. And they had fun. All right, yep, so we just had 2 nursery folks, and this is Amber, our teacher, so thank you so much for being here. All right, and to start off our thank yous, we would love to do the unity blessing for our amazing Dawn. So, all right, everybody, we love you. We bless you. We behold, beseech you, and we behold the Christ you are. And we love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Mwah. Thank you. All right, so for our other thank yous, thank you to the band. Name to be chosen at a later date, but Ryan, Forrest, Ian, and Katrina. Beautiful music. Thank you for our audiovisual, Natasha, Rich, and I think Bernice is back there. I saw her earlier. Yeah, okay. And for Valorie for today and for hosting this amazing ceremony and exhibit. So that's awesome. A lot of work behind the scenes goes into that. And thank you for Debbie for keeping the place spick and span. And thank you for our teachers, ones that were here, even if the kids didn't show up, we're still here for you. So thank you, thank you. And thank you for letting me practice my facilitating skills once again by being up here. Alrighty, and so now we will do the prayer protection, and we'll be getting that. Oh, and we do have prayer chaplains in case you need somebody to pray with, especially after all of this creative energy that has been in the house today. All right, so the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous